So if I asked you a question, what was Raleigh's first mountain bike with full suspension? Would you get it? Well, if you didn't, here it is. Oh, lens steamed up. It is the Raleigh Activator 2. This was their first try at making a full suspension mountain bike. I honestly wasn't looking for another project. I've got so many as it is. But I just saw this on eBay. It popped up in one of my searches, and it was 99p. And it was quite local as well, so I decided to take a chance on it. It looks in pretty good condition. There's a bit of splitting on the headset there. It's got the seat post. Got the forks. It looks pretty good. The guy also had the brakes, the derailleurs for sale, and the shifters, which are out there. Whoa, that's bright. So he also had some of that for sale, and I've got a few bits lying around as it is. So what I was hoping for was to just buy the bike and use the bits that I had left over from the Peugeot and from other bits to put this back together. I've had to buy the wheels. They cost me £15 with the tyres and everything, so I thought that was quite good. Unfortunately, it hasn't gone quite to plan straight away, because the stem that you see there isn't actually the one off the Peugeot, because this bike weirdly uses a 21.1 mil stem, which is an old BMX size. For some reason they decided to use them at the start of mountain bike, so I had to buy a new stem. I've used old bars off the Peugeot. I've used brakes that I had lying around. I just bought a cheap crankset. It was like £3 for that crankset. Pedals I've had lying around, seat I've had lying around, and hopefully I should have all the cables and that lying around too. So I'm going to put this back together, grease it all up, and I don't know, see how it rides. So you might ask why I even bother with this, because you know, if you look at any reviews of this bike, you just find out that it weren't very successful, it weren't very admired. It's basically the first. They just put it out so they could have a full suspension mountain bike apparently. But I thought it was in good enough condition to get back on the road. Ooh, elastomeric dampening. So that might mean I'm missing about the front shocks, because there's nothing in there. Interesting. Anyway, gone through my parts bin here for bottom brackets. Managed to find an axle. Gone through for several. Managed to find an axle that was roughly long enough. Had to space it out, and there's no play in that. The arms go on, and I had to check it because I obviously needed enough movement on the derailleur. So I've got it so it pulls far enough across, but I can't do it with one hand, so it will pull far enough across, and that's good, that part. So let's do the front end now. Okay, headset's on. I've just taken off the old top nut because it was some reason split. Don't know how that's happened. And this is the new stem. It's just a, who's it made by? Saki. I had to pay 20 quid for it, so the price of the bike has kind of like gone up from 99p to, I think, what's it, about 15, 20, about £50 at the moment. Great. But there you go. is the new stem. So that's what we've got to work with. I'm going to look for the cables now, I think, or try and strip down the what they're called, shocks. Strip down the shocks. So I'm going to do one of them now because the shocks are quite stiff, and then we'll see where we go from there. This little thing here is the rear shock. I know, right? It's tiny. I think the original brochure says it comes with 3/4 of an inch of travel, something like that. So I'm just going to see what it actually is. I think from watching RJ the Bike Guy, I think it should be just like a stack of elastomer, put the word up, elastomer, something like that. So I've not ever actually stripped down a fork before. Oh, it's actually 6mm. There's a 6mm Allen key up there. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. One bolt. One washer. Oh. Oh, right, okay. The suspension is literally just a solid block of, I don't know, rubber. It's literally just a solid block of rubber. That's all it is. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, well, that doesn't need any work. So if the rear shock was literally just 2 rubber balls pressed together, what is the front shock? Fortunately, I need to use this super long extension to actually get down there to see. I need to go out and buy that. So it's a 6mm socket. Oh, it works. There we go. There we go. Just literally pulled the forks off. They've got so much dry, dirty grease on them, which is probably not helping the movement. And they do just have 3 stacks of elastometers in there. Which looks like they actually just sit on the bottom of the forks. What am I in focus? So it looks like you've just got the steel fork that goes down, needs to be cleaned and lubed. You got a metal washer. Let me just take you off the stand. We've got a metal washer, and then the one metal washer, one metal washer, one metal washer, and yeah, the bottom of this is actually beveled over so that the washer can't be pulled up inside. So what I'm guessing is there's a thread in the bottom of the forks, the lower halves, which it screws into, maybe. So I'm just gonna clean all this up and stick a load of grease over it and then reassemble. It's getting way too dark to film now, but no lights in the garage, so anyway, forks back together, if you can barely make that out. There's only meant to be, what, I think 1.5 inches movement in them, maybe, not much. But yeah, they were literally just 3 stacks of the kind of rubber, and then that was just on the base of the shocks. So pretty simple, pretty rudimentary. I'm just gonna get the wheels done, which is set out there, and then I can start finding all the cables and stuff, which I've got a big pile here to go through. So yeah, tune in soon for the next exciting episode. So it is a good tip that I was given for removing a super stuck freewheel. If you get your wheel in a vise, you've got your tool on, and even with a nice big adjustable, you just can't shift, you can't break the seal. What I was told to do was to flip the wheel over, put the tool in the vise, and use the wheel as the leverage. So I'm going to try that now. Ready? 1. So unfortunately that's about as far as I can get with it today. Managed to find a front brake cable, but oops, I don't have the, what do you call it, like the hook, the bridge hook, to complete it. I've got one for the rear as well, but I don't have the hook. I'd need a cable for the rear. I've got outer cables that I've managed to put on for the gears, but no cable. I need a chain, and I need to find a 6-speed freewheel. Once I get all that, which should be next weekend I guess now, I can get it done, and I guess it will make a nice commuter bike for someone. We're back in the garage. Got the rest of the parts now. So I've just put the, ooh, right, focus. Better, there we go. So I've just put the new 6-speed freewheel on. It's brand new. The original bike components. What else have I got? Got the new cables to go on. So do that now. Got the new chain. And that's it. Needs cables and chain now. And it's done. Okay. Okay. Shifters on this that I got with the bike are all gunked up and they will not work. If you look at this, I'll put it out. It just instantly just comes back down slowly. There's no ratchet mechanism on this whatsoever now, and that is because of all the grease that's in there and has been gunked up. It's going to be quite hard to show you. Underneath there, all that yellow stuff is the old grease, and over the years it just gunks up and just it stops all the shifters working basically, just because it gets so thick. So I'm going to clean this out with some probably WD-40, some degreaser, and see how it reacts after that, because at the moment I can't use it. Okay, so I had to take the shifters off the bike just to clean them, because it was a bit easier to soak them in a ultrasonic bath, but they work now. The casing's inside, but they click into place now. So yeah, they can go back on. Basically, if you're struggling with these trigger shifters that don't work, what happens is, where are they? Can I zoom in a bit more? And I need a pointer. I need a pointer. Why haven't I got? Oh, there. Okay, what happens is you've got these here, that thing there, and especially this one here on this set. They're little pawls, if that's how you pronounce it properly, pawls. They're meant to be on a bit of a pivot, and with the spring they're meant to spring back into place when you ratchet to stop the arm moving. But when the grease gets all gunked up, they will get pushed out and then stay out, so you can never lock it back into the mechanism. So they should, there, see that now has dropped into the next latch on this lever, whereas before it was staying out and it wasn't doing that next action. So that's what the problem was. It's solved now because I've managed to soak it in some methylated spirits, which to dissolve all the grease, and they can go back on the bike. There we go, that's it, it's all back together. Where was I? So put the shifters on. Wow, it's so dark in here. Shifters have gone on. They're all cleaned out last night, as you probably saw, and then greased up, and they worked absolutely fine now. I've used my new tool, that thing, the part cable puller, to do the derailleurs, and it made it so much easier. So they're on, they're shifting nicely now, 6 speed on the back, 3 on the front. That works well. Brakes work, tyres are on, all the bolts are done up, so I'm just gonna take it for a little test and then probably do a montage.